High interest rates, high property taxes, and insurance pain. Most investors in today's market are fighting to make a 30 years or even a 50 years old houses to cash flow this year, and they are losing money every single month. But here is a move nobody is talking about enough. I'm talking about your build to rent rental property investing strategy. Brand new rentals built from ground up to attract top tenants, slash maintenance costs, and still cash flow like crazy even this year. If you're meeting me for the first time, I am Wale Lawal. I'm a real estate broker and investor based in Houston, Texas. I currently own over 30 rental units, and I've helped over 400 smart investors to start and scale their rental portfolio the smart way. In this video, I'm breaking down exactly how we make a build to rent work in Texas and why it's quietly becoming the smartest way to invest right now, especially if you're looking for crazy cash flow. Now, I'm talking about building like duplexes, fourplexes, single family home, or even a small multi-family community specifically for rental properties. Here is why it's a right move for me and most of my savvy investors. The big one is that everything is new system, we don't have any repairs, new roof, new foundation, new plumbing, new electrical, new HVAC system, and also new electrical fixtures. And because we are building from scratch, we can choose a modern layout that suits the tenancy pool we are targeting for the specific neighborhood, which will attract the right tenant that will stay for years on the property. Build to rent community or build to rent rental properties are also specifically built with the tenant in mind to make sure there is a in-unit laundry room, make sure it's energy efficient, make sure the floor plan and the layout is super convenient for a lot of tenants, and above all, make sure it is affordable for a lot of tenants to be able to afford them depending on the neighborhood we are building at. And which overall means that there's going to be fewer surprises because we're not doing any renovation, we're not doing some complicated strategy here. This is a predictable new construction that we know what is going to happen at what stage from A to Z. And because of the new construction, this build to rent, we can have a better design, better layout that will attract quality tenants, which means less turnover and a better landlord-tenant relationship. Every investor is feeling the heat right now, from high property taxes to high insurance costs and high interest rates. Most investors are actually losing money on their rental portfolio right now. But build to rent strategy actually solves this problem, and I'll walk you through how you can do it as well. Because buying and holder property, there are money pits, you deal with foundation issue, you deal with bad roof, you deal with outdated electrical, outdated plumbing, among other issues. Also, the tenant's nightmare on older houses are just nothing to write home about. And again, build to rent flip that story into a positive light for you because you can control your cost, you control your quality upfront, you choose the design and the durability in mind as you are building them, which means you can put solid light, LED, light fixtures, and also infrastructure that will support your property for many years to come. And this means on the long run for you, you're going to deal with fewer repairs, you're going to get leased up faster, and you have a better tenant experience with a very strong monthly cash flow on your property. So here is the Houston blueprint on build to rent strategy. In Houston, I follow 3 words: population, job, and infrastructure. Without these 3 things, you cannot successfully do your build to rent strategy, because if there's no job, you cannot find a tenant. If there is no population, there's no tenant, and if there is population and job, there's no infrastructure, people will still not buy. So I really want to make sure these 3 things are available before I start my build to rent project. So if you want to implement this strategy, this build to rent strategy where you buy land and you build a property that will be specifically used for rent, here is where you should focus on. Focus on the Northwest 290 and 249 corridor. I'm talking about some part of Oakley and Tumble. Now, you might also be able to do in Cypress, but some of these neighborhood might not allow you to build multi-family. Now, you can easily build a single family, but if you're trying to build a duplex or fourplexes or small community, you might need to go through so many processes for you to get it approved. These cities I just mentioned are very good for build to rent because of the job growth and the spillover from the master plan community where people are already paying $4,000. You're going to be able to attract those qualified tenants into your unit faster. The second part of Houston I will look into if I'm looking to do the build to rent strategy will be the South Houston. I'm talking about your Pearland, Missouri City, because they have a stable rental, they have very strong school, and there's a lot of builders in the area, so you can easily hire a builder that can build for you. You just have to buy the land. And that takes me to my number 3, which is what I call the East Houston. This is an early cycle pricing, and there's a lot of gentrification going on in this area. I'm talking about your Sunnyside, 77051, 77033. This neighborhood has seen a lot of growth, including 77088, your acres home, because land is still affordable. They are very close to medical center, and there's a lot of tenant pool that are looking for quality house to rent. Now, these cities and neighborhood checks all the boxes I talk about, which is the growth, the demand, affordability, and of course, infrastructure. Now, let me walk you through a very realistic number that you can actually implement today. You can build a 4-unit, which is a 4-plex. You can make it a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom with durable finishes. And your all-in cost per unit can be around $160,000 to $180,000. And the average rent can be around $1,500 to $1,600 per month. That is a crazy cash flow on a brand new construction. And which means you built yourself a long-term cash flowing, brand new construction property that will pay you for several years to come. So if you cannot afford it, you don't have to chase building the luxury build to rent community. You can simply focus on the affordable realm, affordable angle, and you will see that a lot of your units will be occupying by qualified tenants super fast. Now, the common question I always receive is that, hey, Wale, how can I find the land without fighting at the city hall? The build-to-rent success started with the dirt. You gotta find the land, right? So here is how you can find the land. You want to check the city master plan and look at the zoning maps and see where the city density is still very low, where they want new construction to go. Then you want to target the commercial corner infill lot. Often we call it rezoning. Now, the number 3 things you want to verify that there is utility. I'm talking about your water, sewer, drainage system before you even buy that land. If there is none of these available, I will not buy that land because it's a lot complicated as a beginner for you to go and make sure provide those amenities on your land. So you want to make sure it's already existing to make your life so easy. Now, the number 4 things you can do is before you submit an offer, you can visit the community during the heavy rainfall to see if there is a hidden thing or maybe the property will flood crazy before you even sign the purchase contract. But you can actually check the msc.fema.gov to make sure the property is not in a flood zone. Let's say it was not during rainy season, it was a dry season. There's no way you can do that. But if it's raining during the time you're still looking at buying the property or buying the land, I would definitely drive down there to see if it got flooded or not. And once all this is checked, you want to have your agent to submit an offer for you on that land, and congratulations, you're going to get the land closed, and that is where the construction phase actually starts. Now, I must warn you here, don't fall into the trap of the custom home trap. This is where you are building $1 million property. This is a rental property, and you really want to build for your buy box. You want to build with the tenant you are looking to attract in mind. If you want to keep your rent under $2,000, there's no need for you to go and be putting a lot of bells and whistle finishes in that property, because your rent will not just support what you are putting into the house. And again, don't forget, this is an investment property, not your dream home. So you want to keep it simple, build for the tenant, have the tenant's avatar you are targeting in mind, and don't let your ego make you to spend more money than you need to. Put a standardized finishes for bulk pricing, and most of the time, all these finishes are available in Home Depot at a very discount price. Now, you want to add what really matters to the property, which is your parking, your laundry, your pet space. If you can add a mini self-storage, that could be additional rental income for you. You can also do that as well. As you can see, this strategy is not for new beginner. If this is your first time trying to buy a rental property, I would say buy a regular conventional property first. It can still be a new construction that is already built. This is not recommended for you if you are just getting started. But let's say you have 4-5 rental property under your belt, and you have the education, you have the money, and you have the time to go through this build to rent. It can be a very, very good thing you will have done in your rental property investing journey. Now, here are your 5 steps you can actually follow to implement this build to rent strategy today. So if you're ready to start your build to rent project in Houston, number 1, you need to pick your product type. Are you going for duplex, triplex, or you just want to build a single family home, or you want to build a 20-unit apartment complex? You need to pick your product. The number 2 is that you want to pick the area where you want to actually build your rental property. I mentioned the northwest, the south, the east end of Houston, and I also mentioned the Sunnyside area. These are very, very good if you're looking for duplexes or you're looking to build single family home that will rent really, really fast. The number 3 steps is that you need to find the the lot and close on the lot. You want to look for existing infrastructure and zoning alignment based on your strategy. The number 4 is that you need to get 2 building quotes from 2 different contractors and stress test them with your pro forma, that is your projection, and see which of the estimates is really close with you. Now, I need to warn you that do not go with the cheapest guy. It might just mean that he doesn't know what he's doing. So I would recommend you go with, maybe you can even get 3 estimates and go with the one that is in the middle. So that way you are not dealing with the less experienced person, and at the same time, you are not dealing with the most expensive contractor as well. Now, the 5th thing you should do if you're really ready to put this into action is to now line up your finances. I've walked you through how to get finances already, and once you do that, you can now break ground with your builder and with your builder's help and get the project going. Now, if you want my help to pressure test your numbers and also help you get the right trade and contractor that will be able to do this for you, feel free to schedule a strategy call on my calendar. You will see the link to my calendar in the video description below. I'll be able to dissect your situation and tell you if this is a viable thing you should pursue, or you should just go ahead and buy a rental property as a conventional way and don't waste your time on trying to do the build to rent strategy. So as you can see, build to rent isn't just a trend. It is a long-term wealth play that, if implemented successfully, can set you up on a long-term benefit that real estate has to offer. But again, I will say this before I let you go. If you are brand new, I will say you should start small and don't try to do the build to rent. And you can watch this my next video where I walk you through why your first home should actually be a duplex. You can still benefit from all these advantages of build to rent without you actually taking all the risk. And you can do that by buying a duplex with as little as 3.5% down, or you can do it conventional way as an investor with 20% down. Watch the video. I break down a lot of things for you and you'll find a lot of value there. Once again, I am Wale Lawal, rental property investor based in Houston, Texas. I'm also a rental property broker that has helped multiple people to start and scale their rental portfolio. Thank you for watching to the end, and I will see you in this video. Peace.